when you experience something like this, you realise what a huge monster it can be, I guess.
Nicola Bulley's partner Paul Ansell has spoken for the first time about the vile criticism he received in the days after his lover went missing. You'll remember, of course, the Nicola Bulley story absolutely captivated the attention of the country, and despite being completely innocent, many tried to finger Paul Ansell as having something to do with his loved one's disappearance. So this is what he's had to say.
When you experience something like this, you realise what a huge monster it can be, I guess. I was getting direct messages from people that I've never met. They don't know me, they don't know us, they don't know Nikki, they know nothing about us. Just messages like, we know what you did. You know, you can't hide, Paul, that kind of stuff. There was some that I felt like replying to, but then if you reply to that, they'll just screenshot your reply, that'll end up on social media, and so you're literally silenced.
And Neil, look, I have a real issue with this one because, of course, I feel absolutely terrible for what Paul Ansell went through. It was barbaric. It was absolutely barbaric. People were incredibly cruel, and he had nothing to do with Nicola Bulley's disappearance. But here's what my issue is, Neil, and I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me as a free speech absolutist. The solution that the left always seems to take from these stories is that we need to somehow censor the internet. We need to somehow censor social media. And that's what my concern is. But I have to say, I do have huge, huge sympathy for what Paul Ansell went through, because not only was Nicola, the love of his life, missing, presumed dead, he was completely wrongly accused.
Yeah, well, I've been in a similar situation myself more than once, where I've been demonized before social media existed as it does now, to be honest. But nevertheless, I know what it feels like as a hunted quarry, and you don't have any power to answer back because you just don't have the firepower that the media institutions do have. But having said that, I am, as you rightly say, totally opposed to censoring the internet or any other publication, actually, unless what is sought to be printed or broadcast is in some way an incitement or provocation to violence, or at least could reasonably be seen as such. And I think we just have to accept this goes with the territory. If you are in public life, as I've been for most of my life, obviously you have to accept that, because that's effectively what you volunteer to experience if things go a certain direction in life. If you're a private citizen, of course, it's somewhat different. But nevertheless, it's very dangerous to censor free speech, because who's going to decide who's doing the censoring? And who's going to guard the guardians, or guard us from the guardians? Because you have to accept that nobody is completely unbiased. Everybody's got axes to grind of one kind or another. And if you silence groups in the population just because you disagree with them, or because you think that what they say is disinformation, even though there may not be any way of proving that, I think that's a very, very, very dangerous course for us to be going down. I'm afraid there are going to be casualties of truth just as there are casualties of lies. And that's just one of the aspects of life that we have to cope with. And you can't have good weather all the time. So I agree with you, Dan. I think that whilst one's got enormous sympathy for him in the plight which he found himself, I'm afraid there's a bigger issue at stake here, which we would ignore at our peril.
I know a lot of you are dealing with or have dealt with these symptoms, especially amongst the women in the Outspoken family. Now, obviously, I haven't experienced menopause firsthand, obviously, but I've heard from so many of you about the challenges that come with it. So I'm coming to you with good news, I hope, because by now most of you have heard me talk about Verso. I've been taking their products for months and it's been absolutely transformative for me. But today I want to focus on all of you amazing women out there, especially those dealing with menopause or perimenopause. I've heard about how tough this phase of life can be. But Salbean by Verso is designed to target those symptoms head on by addressing the root cause. It's formulated with ingredients that are proven to increase NAD+ levels in the body. Now that is huge because NAD+ is what keeps your cells healthy and energized, but it drops off as we age, especially during menopause. Here's the thing, boosting NAD+ can make a big difference in how you feel. Women who've taken Salbean are reporting some pretty amazing changes: hot flashes disappearing, more energy, joint pain release, weight loss, and mental clarity. I've even heard from some listeners who've told me that their periods have come back or have become regulated and they feel like they've turned back the clock on aging. The ingredients in Salbean have shown to balance hormones without going the traditional hormone therapy route. It helps with inflammation and metabolism, which is especially helpful for managing weight and keeping you feeling your best. Plus, these research-backed ingredients have been shown to improve bone health, which is crucial for post-menopausal women at risk of osteoporosis. What I love about Salbean, and think you will too, is that it doesn't just mask the symptoms of menopause, it tackles the root causes of aging, helping you feel stronger, healthier, and more energized from the inside out. So if you haven't tried it yet and you're ready to take control of your health and feel more like yourself, click the link in the description on YouTube and Rumble, or head over to buy.ver.so and use the coupon code Outspoken to save 15% on your first order today. So if you're tired of the sleepless nights, the hot flashes, or just feeling off, give Salbean a try. It's already helped so many of you, and I'm confident it can help even more of you feel better too. So to repeat, that's buy.ver.so/outspoken and use the coupon code Outspoken for a 15% discount. No, indeed. And I spoke out at the time about what he was going through and how awful it was. And there were vultures like Kay Burley on Sly News who were using this story to promote their own personal brand. To hell with the consequences of the family. Woke ITV acted completely reprehensibly over that period as well, and it created this climate of abuse towards Paul Ansell, who was trying, remember they have children, was trying to deal with the children no longer having their mother there. So I do understand how awful it was. Like Neil as well, Maria, I have been through this sort of social media witch hunt. It is awful. And as Neil says, you feel like you can't speak out. The whole world is coming down on you because you lose control of the narrative and you're thinking, this isn't true, but I'm trending on social media and it's not true. So I absolutely understand. I mean, I viscerally feel his pain, but I just don't know what the solution is, Maria, because I do not want social media censored.
Yeah, and I agree wholeheartedly. So for me, I did get some abuse, if you like, not much. But for me, the freedom to say what you think is more important. And so I agree with both of you that we shouldn't be censoring social media. Who gets to decide what's misinformation? I think it is awful that someone has been accused of something before. There's an allegedly, but then they start putting hyphenated brackets on it. Suddenly you become the enemy. And it's such an emotive story, and it was heartbreaking to read about, and people instantly looking for blame. It's so awful that he had to go through that while trying to console, look for his, it's not right. But again, no. I don't know the answer either. For me, I like social media and everything to be completely transparent. You say what you think, people can see what you've said, and we have to hold each other to account as friends, relatives. And if you need to withdraw yourself from social media, I don't blame anyone. I've got family members that don't touch it with a barge pole, and they have quite straightforward lives. I don't blame them.
I know. Sometimes I'm very envious of those people. I mean, Neil, I do wonder if there does have to be different advice, though, given to people going through these situations. So in my situation, which was very similar to yours, Neil, but the difference was I did have to deal with social media. You were dealing with the mainstream media. I was dealing with social media. And the advice, Neil, was always don't speak out. Don't say anything. This is all going to go away. But it doesn't go away in the world of social media. So is there an argument now that actually people like Paul Ansell, I mean, I know he was going through the worst time of his life, but maybe he couldn't speak out publicly, but maybe he needed representatives on his behalf, or friends or family members, to actually front up? Because I wish I had. Actually, when people started spreading lies about me, I just wish I had come out day one and tackled them head on and said, you are lying. Go, show me the proof, show me the evidence, because this is a lie. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please do subscribe if you want lots more clips and interviews like that. Plus, if you want to watch our totally uncensored after show, then visit www.outspoken.live.